Hello, welcome to our presentation at this science conference. My name is Adri Hartveld. I'm a physiotherapist and a runner and the inventor of the Resilic sole. For 25 years, whilst practicing as clinicians in physiotherapy and podiatry, we have worked with academics in biomechanics here at Staffordshire University on the development of training footwear. I would like to tell you about the resulting shoes, as well as how the research has led to these sole designs. This story shows how science results in a rather gradual progression in technology, an evolution. Marketing often results in rapid changes, so-called revolutionary designs, with products being adopted quickly and often discredited quite quickly, because science refuted the claims. The approach of our group here in North Staffordshire has been scientific. For 25 years we have participated in the global development of running shoes, which has evolved. Marketing trends pull it sideways and distract the runners and the brands from the keys to progress. However, we have kept going here in Staffordshire, reading, discussing, cobbling, testing and analysing, and now we have sole designs which are truly evidence-based, and they work. As a tool, they are still just trainers. It's the training that makes one resilient. A good running shoe can help in that training. It can assist when well designed. It was in the 1980s, during the jogging boom, podiatrist David Dunning and Shane Trinder and me, as physiotherapists, were doing our Masters of Science degrees, and we continued our clinical work. Despite the protective heel from Nike Air running shoes, as well as those from other brands, the running injuries became very common. Both on the road, as well as in the biomechanics laboratories in the US and Great Britain, the new running shoe designs showed not to be working. They're supposed to reduce impact forces, but research by experts such as Ned Frederick showed that they just did not do that. Why didn't they? Protective gear is useful in any other sport and industry. While the odd thing with running, as opposed to any other sport, is that people just go out and run. They did not see it as a skill to be learned. Nike didn't help this by putting their famous slogan "Just do it" on millions of adverts. Teaching movement skills is what we do as physiotherapists. I analyze the gait of cerebral palsy children as well as athletes with knee pain. I studied the academic literature of the gait of top runners and the forces during every step. Abebi Bikili and Ron Hill from 1960 to 1970 had been breaking world marathon records in barefoot or on very minimalist footwear. I had the privilege of literally running right behind the best runners in the world, in road races and in training. With good athletes, during running, there was only a very light touch of the heel on the ground or none at all. In top athletics, the times in road running were not coming down very fast at all. As you can see from this graph of world record times, in a time that elite athletes became professionals with lucrative shoe brand sponsorship contracts, the progress stalled. We, as science-based physiotherapists and podiatrists, knew that a runner needs to precise control, strength and resilience of the calf and buttock muscles to run efficiently and to prevent injuries. When the heel is raised and soft, the runner does not feel the increased impact from an uncoordinated running step. Podiatrist David Dunning and I agreed. The 1980s and 1990s running shoes with their EVA raised heels reduced the proprioception of the runner, the intrinsic feedback to the foot. The public reads Nike's message of "just do it" and think jogging, running is something you just need a pair of running shoes for. Why then did we have so many runners with injuries on the treatment couch in front of us? We understood and set out to improve running shoe designs, together with teaching runners about training and movement control. Podiatrists have the focus not only on feet, but also on the cause of the pains, which basically is forces, biomechanics. I remember well going to lectures by Dave and Shane highlighting how the foot moves during walking and running and how this impacts on the foot, the knee and the hip. Physiotherapists are focused on movement control training. We had Staffordshire University on our doorstep. Teaming up with the new young engineer and academic Nachipan Chokalingam was the obvious thing to do. In 2004, we compared the effects of movement control with the effects of running shoes. We measured jumping down on a force plate with various movement strategies with and without shoes. The results showed the running shoes did not change any forces. However, landing on the heels with straight knees gave 13 times greater shock on the body than landing on the forefoot with a good knee bend. Muscles protect. They need to work in conjunction with the footwear, not opposite. We developed both biomechanical models of overuse injuries in running and walking, as well as training and injury models. These models are a result of the combined expertise of engineers, podiatrists and physiotherapists. We recruited experienced biomechanics engineer Roosbeh Naomi, fostered partnerships with companies and engineers in Germany and the Netherlands, such as Dr. Peter Gerth in Magdeburg, all working together to help the physical resilience of people, as well as developing a resilient soul. Resilience in terms of the material science, springy, a sole with a good energy return, but also resilience in terms of durability, polyurethane soles instead of the usual midsole material of running shoes, EVA. Muscles and tendons adapt when functional activities are gradually increased, week by week, month by month, year by year. They become springier, more resilient, they become better at shock absorption. Running injuries occur when the cumulative load experienced by the musculoskeletal structure exceeds the load tolerance of the structure. We need to take into account the microcycle of training programs. The resilience of the athlete the day after an exhausting training session or after, for example, a half marathon is not going to be as good as at the start of the half marathon. However, in both instances, shock absorbing and energy returning shoe soles are useful tools for runners. In the first miles of the half marathon, they can save energy and prolong the point at which the runner fatigues. The next day, the right footwear can help the runner with their active recovery. Building resilience, instead of breaking down the body tissues, is first dependent on the training. The running shoes, when well designed, can aid this training. Both in hard sessions and in easy sessions, runners want to run many miles on hard roads and reduce the strain on their musculoskeletal tissues with protection under their feet. Effective shock absorbing and energy returning shoe soles also have a role in the rehabilitation of athletes. Fairly recently, expert physiotherapists and biomechanists established the principle of optimal loading that results in the regeneration of muscle tissues, including tendons. Our group's work has been instrumental in the development of footwear with fiber-reinforced plates and low-density foam. A full plate across the foot produces an optimized sole force distribution. The weight of a shoe is an hindrance. It can impede the movement. A medium-density midsole is heavier, and it particularly impedes the important last part of the swing phase. When the person does not bring the foot back in time, close to under the body, just prior to the foot strike, the person breaks and bangs more than is efficient and healthy. The plate allows for low-density foam underneath. Without the plate, the lightweight foam would have bottomed out, very little shock absorption. The plate also allows for various recesses, which allows the body forces to be decelerated over a greater distance. Our laboratory tests showed that the sole's resistive force was on average 3 times higher with the sole distribution plate than without it. This gives footwear designers a great scope to improve on shock absorption and energy return and use recesses and therefore less of these materials. We use biomechanical modeling using long-established engineering principles of grooved plates and panels to improve the functionality of footwear and decrease its weight. One of these mechanical principles is grooves corrugation, hollow beams. Those bends increase the bending stiffness of plates without increasing its weight. To come to our patented designs, it needed expert engineers working together with podiatrists and a running physiotherapist. This is what has resulted after 20 years in the Resilic sole system. I've lodged patents explaining how this principle can be incorporated in footwear. This concept and various design options are explained as the trampoline effect and the pole vault effect, enhancing running and jumping. We have contributed to the improvement of running shoe designs. After 50 years, the industry has finally made a breakthrough with evidence-based performance-enhancing footwear. New so-called revolutionary footwear with plates across the foot and greater sole height has created a great interest in the running world. Spearheaded by Nike, carbon fiber reinforced plates on low density foam with a lot of depth have aided road running records and have shown to reduce the impact during running. Other sportswear corporates are following suit, and soon this type of footwear will dominate distance running on the road. Our patented sole construction, with its sole force distribution and its grooved plate, has additional advantages over the Nike Vaporfly in terms of weight reduction and stability. It's the athletes who are breaking the records with the right training and lifestyle. In the future they might well do this with footwear that incorporates our Resilic sole system. This next generation of footwear with grooved plates will use less and longer lasting materials. We help people to run more and to run faster in the great outdoors, all towards growing more resilient people in a more resilient environment.